Why the narcissist calls you a narcissist. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thanks for joining me. All right, let's just jump straight into this, shall we? So it's a bit of a weird phenomenon. You probably have already experienced it, but for those of you who don't know, often the narcissist, when you call them a narcissist, will then turn around and say, no, you're the narcissist. Now, why do they do that? Well, there's a couple of things at play. The first thing is that, the quickest and easiest way to get themselves out of any kind of predicament, I suppose, where they're being challenged or accused of being something, is to just do the old Pee Wee Herman, I know you are, but what am I? That, I know you are, but what am I? Quite famous scene and line from the actor Pee Wee Herman, from his character. So it's just something that they use as a... it's just a way to kind of end the conversation, to turn it back on you. It has no real kind of merit. They haven't thought it through. And we know this because the reality is they use it in response to you accusing or challenging them. So it's their response to that. So in my particular situation, the next question that I would have to having someone say to me, oh, you're the narcissist, would be, well, why didn't you mention this before? Why have you waited until I have called you out for being a narcissist? If you know someone or you think someone is a narcissist, then surely you would call them out. You wouldn't wait until they have called you. That's the very same thing. It goes back to the narcissist kind of naughty and nice list. So essentially, when you are in a relationship with them, they will make notes of all the kind of bad things you do. They keep a little mental checklist of the bad things that you do, and the good things that they do, right? So they never ever acknowledge doing anything wrong. They never make mistakes. It's always everyone else. So this checklist, this mental checklist they've got going on, like I said, it's got, the good side, that's all them, and the bad side, that's all you. And they keep that little tally or checklist in the back of their mind for moments such as these when they get accused. So they, instead of taking responsibility, accountability, looking at their own behaviour, they just do that, I know you are, but what am I? And then, like I said, we'll try and accuse you with one of the things that they have on their little checklist, the little tally. Essentially, it's all about avoiding accountability and responsibility. It's just a projection. They project, obviously, onto other people. They never take accountability, and deniability is their biggest thing. They just deny, point fingers back at everyone, and that's just what they do. Like, this is the nature of narcissism. So when you witness it and experience it, just know, it's literally part of their MO. They all do the same things. This is one of them. Like I said, no accountability, no responsibility, no stopping and thinking about their own bad behaviour, no insight, no self-awareness. I have this old saying, when someone says something bad about you or to you, they might say, I don't know, you're a bad friend, for example. Now, if one person says it, right, it's entirely up to you whether you want to, think about it and delve into it. But if, 2 people say it, 3 people say it, then I think you have to actually look at your own behaviour. Because, in a world of statistics and anomalies, if a number of people are saying the same thing about you, then, maybe it is actually a problem that you are not aware of. But the narcissist will never, ever have the most basic level of self-awareness. They can talk about, have a narcissism channel and talk about narcissism all day long and be called out for being a narcissist. And yet, like I said, there's no connection to their own behaviour. They just assume that, that people are just calling them names for no reason. or that people are just picking on them. People are just, cyberbullying them. The narcissist, you've got to remember, the narcissist will always default back to victim status. It's one of their get out of jail free cards. It's like, no matter what you say about them. So like I said, you might call them out for being a narcissist and call out their bad behavior, but they will throw down that victim card, and if they've got the race card, or if they've got, another card, I don't know, like, they could maybe accuse you of being like transphobic, or, I can't think of the top of my head, but, kind of any kind of what we term, the cards. They'll use the race card. They'll say, oh, you're just being racist, or you're just being transphobic, or you're homophobic. These labels that they use, as I said, they use them as a get out of jail free. The reality is that we all have to hold ourselves accountable for our behaviour. We all have to take responsibility, and we all have to have, a bit of self-awareness and look at ourselves, have a bit of insight into how we show up in the world. And if people are calling you out for your behaviour, then look at your behaviour. But if you are in a situation where you've called out someone's behaviour and they just turn around and say, I know you are, but what am I? Oh, you're the narcissist. No, it's you. Like, if that happens, like I said, you have to then just go back to them. Well, why didn't you say it before? Why didn't they mention it before? If you were such a problem, surely they would have mentioned it. They didn't mention it because it's not a real thing. Like I said, it's just a strategy that they use to avoid accountability. That's what they do. All right, lovelies, if you've had this situation occur, let me know about it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. All right, thanks for listening.